morning. It's been a while since I've done a video. The last one we did was on pork shoulder, and we have our new smoker finally in, and today we're going to do some tests on some ribs with our new smoker. And I'm going to start by showing how to trim out a rack of spare ribs into a St. Louis cut. The same cut we will use for competition. And this is your rack of spare ribs, just a store-bought, nothing too fancy. One thing you want to look at, if you see the bones here, you want to try to get as many of these as straight as possible. It's going to make a difference in your competition. These are a little bit better here. It just makes for a better presentation when you go to start cutting your ribs down. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to get these ribs about that long for our box. And you'll see that the bone goes right about here, so that's perfect. So what we're going to do is make a small little cut here first. And all we're doing, we're not cutting through bone, we're just cutting through cartilage. And we'll follow that line here. And once we get that, we know our line, so we're going to turn it around and come back this direction. And that's about the width that you want these. We're going to trim these up a little bit. And that's going to be a perfect rack right there. And just clean up the ends a little bit. And that's where you want your rack, right here. Now we do want to get rid of a little bit of this fat. We're going to keep some of it on just because that will also help moisten the meat. But we don't need a lot of this extra fat in here. This little piece here can come out. We're going to leave a little bit of that fat. The next thing we want to do is get a lot of the sinew or silver skin off, because if you don't take this off, what it's going to do is not allow your rub to penetrate. So the easiest way to do this is to get a butter knife. and you come in right underneath that sinew or silver skin, just like this. Sorry about that, I had to grab the house phone. So you're going to get underneath this silver skin just like I'm showing you here. And if you lift that up just like that and try to get your finger wedged underneath there, and you can see how it's pulling up. Now if you grab a paper towel, you can pull this thing, and let me tell you, this is one of the easier ones that I've had. A lot of times this stuff will split on you, and you're going to have to go back and trim it out a few different times. But this is the easiest way. Just get your butter knife underneath that sinew, that silver skin, get it started, get a paper towel, and then you can start pulling it. And this is what it is. You can see I still have little areas to get here, and you can get that with a knife, or you can come back in. I'll cut out some of this little fat that was underneath there. And we'll come back over here and get some more of that sinew. And like I said, sometimes you got to get in here, and it's a little tedious work to get in here and get it out. But if you just use a butter knife, you can get in there and get it broke out. And there may be times you have to take a sharp knife just to cut it out of there. With this one, there seems to be a big fat pocket underneath, so we're going to give it a little bit of help here. And that looks pretty good. So again, this is your rack. Maybe a little longer than I would care for, but you get the idea. So you want this square. This is exactly how you're going to put it on. And I'm going to get rid of a little bit more of this fat down here. Even though it'll render down, this is all fat that will render down, but there's a lot of it on there. And again, if I'm going to do competition, I want this to be as clean as I can get. But for practice and for us eating around the house today, this is going to be just perfect. Because I don't have any judges to please except for my wife and the kids, so. And they're the harder judges, let me tell you. So, you got one set of ribs here. And we're going to come back here and do the same thing. Again, you're going to look and see where your bones are here. And remember, we want to rack about like that. So we're going to come in, and we got a little bit of a chest bone here. And again, we're not cutting through bone. This is just cartilage. So we've got our starting cut here. And we'll just keep following that down. This is going to be a little bit better of a rack than the first one as far as width for your box. And remember, you just want to square this up a little bit. That's perfect size right there. This is going to be the better of the two racks. And again, you're just going to come in here, you're going to clean it up a little bit. Just so you square it up. Any of these little loose ends you can take off because that's just going to burn. And again, we've got this piece that you can take off. This looks good. Now, again, you're going to get your butter knife and you're going to go under that sinew or silver skin. Just like that. So you get your finger underneath it. And if you work it out a little bit, just like that, and come back with your paper towel. pull that sinew off. Of course, my paper towel's getting a little wet here, so I'm shredding that a bit too. And again, just come in and trim a little bit of that up. And that is going to be a perfect rack. And we're just going to trim that piece out. And that's just extra skin. And it'll do nothing for us. There. That is perfect size for your box, for your turn-in box. That's exactly how you want your ribs to look. Right there. All right. We're going to be back in a moment, and let me get the smoker started. We're going to let these sit for a moment. Never mind my glove. You can see I was a little longer on these. I may trim these down just a hair more. Although these bones are pretty long. I'm not sure how much more we can trim this one down. This one's got some long bones in it. And I think we're just going to leave this just like we've got it. All right, so this is where we're at. We're going to come back and we will show you how we season these and get them ready, and I'll be back.